Okay, morning, welcome to the mobile NAS unit prize draw we did for everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel. We used randomresult.com, we put everyone's names in there to randomly select a winner. The winner is Chris Green. So if you could message us at marketing@dvs.co.uk where we can arrange delivery of your beautiful Hikvision NAS mobile unit and you can have hours of fun using it. Thanks for everyone for subscribing. We'll run another competition soon for something new and something you can all get your hands on. See you soon. Hi, welcome to another how-to video. Dave Davis, CTO DVS, Hikvision extraordinaire. This is a thermal bullet camera, so part of Hikvision's extensive thermal camera lineup. I must say, I've tested a lot of thermal in my life. We're at a stage now where thermal imaging is very cost effective and is providing outstanding results. This particular model is the DS-2TD2166-7. So it's the higher res 640 7mm fixed lens bullet camera. So we do offer them in a high res and a low res. So the 2166 is the higher res, the 2136 is the lower res, and we do them in different lens sizes, starting from 7mm up to 50mm, 75, 100mm even, and beyond that, special requirements. We also do them in a PTZ range. So this is the box. We're just going to start by unboxing it. So nicely packed, slightly larger box. So in the box we have a packet. In that pack you'll have the security Allen screwdriver for the securing of the screws, some fixing screws and some bracket screws, along with the foam pad that goes between the bracket, the back box and the camera itself. We have the packet with the waterproof glanding in, very important if you're installing the camera externally. The waterproof gland will stop and help, or certainly help prevent any water leakage affecting the camera. We have the back box itself, so that would go onto the wall and the camera secures to that. And then we have the camera, along with the drill template, a user manual and a little helpful guide. So we'll push that to the side. So we'll take the cover off. The thing you'll first notice is it does look like a traditional Hikvision bullet camera. It's substantially heavier than a standard bullet camera. There's a lot of weight in there. So if I bring this a little bit closer, you shall see on the front lens, this is the 7mm wide angle version. So the lens aperture is very wide and you'll see the blackened geranium glass. Now thermal imaging requires, one of the materials that the thermal imaging will see through is geranium. So the glass is a rare mineral, it's made from geranium. It's one of the most common ones, but it is very expensive and it's very heavy. If you notice, if you do point the thermal imaging towards a pane of glass, if it's outside and you look into a car, you'll see the reflection of the heat due to the way the glass is reflecting the heat energy. So, thermal imaging bullet camera, you've got the three-stage adjustment, screw on the side which allows for side-to-side movement, the screw on the side there which allows for tilt up and tilt down action, and the rear screw will allow for further movement of the whole assembly around. So it's 3-axis adjustment. On the back, on the fly lead, you've got the adjustable sun shield. On the back you've got the RJ45 lead, and that's where the waterproof gland will sit and tighten onto there, the Cat5 cable or Cat6. You would then have your alarm cable. There's 2 alarms here. You've got 2 alarm inputs and 2 alarm outputs. So you've got 1 alarm input, 1 alarm output on that header, and 1 alarm input, 1 alarm output on that header. You've got the audio in jack, so it's a 3.5mm jack for your audio connection, and you've also got an audio out, which is a 3.5mm jack cable, and you've got your CVBS or your BNC analog output, so you can connect that to third-party equipment or a test monitor, for example, with a rubber sheath. Then you've got your 12-volt DC input. Everyone nowadays will use PoE or straight from the network or the switch or the NVR even, and you've got your securing hook. Good thing with this hook is, when your bracket is on the wall, to assist you, you can slide the hook over the hook adjustment, which allows you to make your connections off, bend them into the back box and then close the lid safely without the risk of the camera falling. So nice little, it's been around for quite a few years now, but most people don't know what that is. So then this is the thermal imaging camera range. What we'll do next is we'll go and fit this outside, and I'm going to show you how to configure the camera correctly, because there is a process on the latest firmware. The deep learning algorithm requires you to calibrate the camera. Once you've calibrated it, we'll give you a quick run through how to set up some analytics on there. Okay, welcome back to the final part of this how-to video regarding the Hikvision thermal camera product. So I've come in on a Sunday afternoon, lovely and sunny and warm out there, and I fitted the camera onto the gantry to give us a nice wide view of our car park. So first thing we do is log in, web browse to the camera, go to configuration. Always important to check the firmware is up to date. I have just updated it. So under system, on the left hand side, system settings, model number, firmware version. The latest one at this point in time is the 5.5.0 firmware with the deep learning algorithm. So we've made sure our camera's on the latest firmware. We've set the time, so ours is GMT 0. Set the DST if we need, and you can see the about licenses if you need. Under maintenance, you've got the usual reboot, restore, default, backup, device parameters, and firmware update. You've got the log, system service. So you've got enable automatic de-icing. So you can only support this if 2424 PoE plus. Yes, we have got that. So we'll enable the automatic de-icing. VCA resource type. So the analytic type, we're going to be looking at temperature measurement and behavior analysis today. You can switch that mode to temperature measurement and fire detection mode. So that'll be a separate video that we go through another day. But for today's purpose, we're going to use the behavior analysis because we're going to use it as a security product. Okay, under security, you've got the authentication type. So RTSP authentication and web authentication. If you're using this with the decoder, it's best to set this to digest basic and save that. We will be using it with a decoder in our demo room, so I'll do it in preparation. You've got your IP address filter and your security service, standard menu choices. You've then got a user management, again, standard menu choice, and you've got a whole host of network settings under basic and advanced. Now we've already set all these. We don't need to go and set these retrospectively, but there's pages and pages of those to go and set. And the video and audio, as I said, this was the high res option. So you set it to 640 over 512, so it's the higher res thermal imaging bullet camera. And we can have a frame rate up to 50 frames a second, which we selected. And we've got H.265. We can turn H.265 plus on if we like. I personally prefer H.265. And I've set it to 2048 bitrate under H.265 because it is only a thermal imaging camera, so it's not sort of 5-8 megapixels. And we're happy on that. If we've got a microphone, we support audio in and out on this model, as I said before, so you can set your audio there, your region of interest, and your metadata. So enable metadata is VCA and temperature measurement. So we'll set that. So within the actual stream itself, we're embedding the detail of the VCA analytic. So it enables like our own products and third parties to get more information out of that video stream with the VCA embedded. We can do temperature measurement. I'll do a separate video on that also, and we'll save that. Now under image, display settings, pretty standard menu choices. So you've got your display settings. Under display settings, this is where we can actually choose the palette. So we just go into image adjust. So you've got brightness, contrast, background correction and manual correction for the dead pixels, or defective pixel correction, dead pixels, whichever you want to choose. So we're happy with that. It's a brand new camera. There's no defective pixel count in there. Under image enhancement, this is where we can actually now start setting up the actual palette. So when I say palette, it's the actual color and background of this scene. So white hot is my preference, but a lot of people like it black hot. So we change that and it will update that. So anything that's black is hotter than the white. Then you've got fusion. There's about 16 different palettes there. You've got rainbow, fusion 2, iron bow 2, spear, color 1 and 2. Now each one of these will suit a specific scene better than a different one. So I say, whilst I like black or white hot, depending on what I'm looking at, other people will prefer the colour. Now it's easier to spot hot objects in a colourful background, and lots of people will translate that very differently. So that's just my personal preference. Again, we've got ice, fire, rain, red hot, green hot, dark blue. I'm going to put it to white is hot. Once you've chose your colour, you'll notice some of these, once you've chose your palette, you can actually start setting up different colours that are detected can be shown. So different objects that are detected can be shown in different colours depending on their temperature threshold. Now, again, this is probably quite complex and something that I can go to in a separate video, but you can actually start setting up and assigning temperature ranges to different colours. So we can say the above palette, above 50 degrees needs to be in pink, for instance, and save that. So you can see there, that object, these two objects here are coming back as above 50 degrees, and they're coming back as pink. So we know those two objects are above 50 degrees. And then you can say between or below. So you can start breaking this up. So it's very easy for you to see as things are detected through, or heat up in the field of view. You can see the different temperatures the objects are emitting. TD, DD level. Now you can adjust these per site. I'm happy with the colour of my, or the actual rendition of my scene there. Brightness, sudden change, video adjustments. You've got mirror, video standard, capture mode, other, and then you've got other, which is local output off. Local output refers to the BNC output on the back of the camera. I'm not connecting that to a third-party system, so we can leave that as it is. Then you've got your OSD settings, so you've set your name, positions, time and date, etc. Your privacy masks, picture overlay. This is where you can upload, say, a DVS JPEG and place it into the bottom corner there. So we can actually go browse to a picture. Let's see if I have any DVS logo. It might be a bit big. Upload. It's taking my PC's taking its time, so you can drag that down the bottom there, click save, and a DVS logo will be shown there in live view. So you can put other things in there. It might be that you have a text in there to show you what it's monitoring. Brand advertising, that could be anything. We'll leave that there because it looks actually quite nice. DPC, wait for that page to load properly. We don't need that dead pixel correction there. And the VCA rule, or defective pixel correction. Again, this is where you can set up the font size of the VCA rule. Actually, so you can have normal, pre-alarm, and alarm. So normal, so if I drew a box and an object's outside of the box and it's walking along, it'll have a green line. Pre-alarm is when it's going into it, and then alarm is when it's... So you get different trace alarms depending on these figures and how you've set your VCA rule up. We'll leave it at that. You'll see now in a minute when I set the VCA rule up. So you've got your events, you've got your motion, video tampering, alarm input, alarm output, and exception. I don't use motion detection on thermals. I'll use the VCA. You've got your smart events there, audio exception and sudden scene change. Storage events for your SD card, your onboard storage and capture. And your VCA. So the VCA is where you set up the video content analysis, so your analytics. So we're going to display VCA info on stream, yes. Display trajectory, that's the tracer line I was just on about with the different colours. And trajectory is, we'll leave it at 20 seconds, so how long that is visible on the scene. So 20 seconds, yeah, save that. Display on picture, display target info on alarm picture, display rule info on alarm picture, yes, and save that. And then the snapshot settings if you're using that.
Camera calibration. Now, this is quite important. A lot of people are trying to use the new thermal cameras without calibrating it. It doesn't work unless you calibrate it. And this is how you calibrate it. I'm going to get Jake to put an index in this how-to video. So if you are watching this and you just want to quickly know how to calibrate and forget everything else I've just said, you can come straight to this little snippet. So camera calibration. Enable camera calibration. Then you need, this is ideally where you need two people. There's only myself. Luckily it's a closed compound, so I'll be left alone. I'm going to enable camera calibration, and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to do a zigzag across the scene, and you'll see that the camera then will capture images of me at various stages to calibrate me. I'm going to say camera calibration, enter the, so it tells you when you take it, enter the camera, enable the camera calibration and configure the rule by entering the actual size to improve the VCA detection accuracy. So click OK. So we're going to go start to calibrate. Right, I'm going to go and do my little walk. Don't forget your keys, Dave. Press stop. Auto calibration succeeded. There we go. So you can see now, let me just put the microphone back on. You can see now where various stages I've walked across the car park like a zigzag. That is the recommended, that you walk zigzag from across the camera like this, back and forth once and back inside, which I did, and it'll take various snapshots. Click save. The camera's calibrated now. So if you look at figure 1, 2, so you can see the calibration, and there's the complete thing. So this is giving the camera, we can do manual calibration. This is giving the camera a very good indication in this fixed field of view of what a human-sized target will look like. So now I can actually shield region. So if you don't know what shield region is, that's a mask. So it's an area of non-detection. We'll go to the rule. So we're going to add a VCA rule in. So VCA, and we'll put intrusion. We'll put intrusion. So we're not going to filter by pixel size or maximum and minimum. We're going to say the duration is 2 seconds, sensitivity is 50, and detection type is human and vehicle. We'll just put that to 3. Click save. Let's draw the line now. So it's from here to here to here to here. Save that. So that's our area of detection. So it could be anywhere within this field of view. Save that again. I always double save just to make sure. Yeah, we're good to go. Arming schedule is 24/7 for that one. And the alarm linkage is notify surveillance center. You can do any of these basically. Trigger recording, advanced configuration, single mode. So we'll put it on. The scene mode is general, but you've got distant view. So that's if it's a long range detection camera, and you've got leaves interfered view. So there's leaves that are either blowing, a lot of trees blowing in the field of view, or leaves that are falling down. It tries to counteract that. And we're saying single alarm causes this on a general view. It's a general view. Now, we've done quite a lot for border protection with thermal imaging, sensitive area detection, sterile zone detection for very long range. So that one you do use distant view, where the analytics are very good at picking up in long distances. And you can update all of these parameters here. If you click on help, it will try to give you an indicator of how to calibrate it, what all the options mean. And then global size filter, I'm not going to set this up now, but you can actually filter your global size filter if you enable that, and then you put your maximum minimum object size, so it can't be above or below that, to minimises false alarms. For the purposes of sterile site and purposes of testing, I'm not going to do global size filter. And then you can restore and default the VCA there. If you want it not to be a single alarm, untick that and click save. And the temperature measurement, we'll do that on a different day, because that again is quite complex on its own. What you'll see now, if I go to local, enable rules, tick. If I go to live view, okay, I'm going to go for a quick walk a second. Okay, you probably saw me move around then. Look, it's even picking up movement from over there. That is about all I wanted to show you as a brief overview of the camera. You can even see there's a lorry coming and being tracked down there. So it's even picking up through the bushes, you know, that we couldn't even see that as a human through there, and the camera's doing a very good job of it. That's about it for today's video. I'll do some more on the temperature measurement. Again, this output can be used to trigger Hike Central and NVR, for instance. Outputs, etc, etc. I'm out of breath for running now. Thanks for watching. Keep sharing, and more importantly, keep subscribing. Anything you guys want to see me do particularly, let us know. See you next time. Thank you. Just one thing I wanted to mention quickly. This is the intrusion alarm via IVMS 4200. So it actually did pick me up when I went in that box we drew. The IVMS 4200 has picked it up, you know, via the camera and presented it to me. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.